What up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you. It is February 1st, 2024, sitting outside. It's a nice day, and it's time for me to resume the 2024 SEC schedule previews for each team. We're going game by game on the 2024 schedules for each team, alphabetically, of course. Today up is the Auburn Tigers. I've kind of gotten away from this the past couple of weeks. I want to get back on track with it. Remember, these are by no means a preview video for these teams. We're not doing win-loss previews here. I think those are stupid to do in February. You don't really know what you've got yet with another transfer portal window opening up. And then you've got spring practice where you have the opportunity to lose a player to injury. South Carolina Gamecocks saw that happen last year with an offensive lineman. Or during spring, you have an opportunity for another breakout star to emerge that may elevate his way up the depth chart. So looking back at, let me back up. Let me rewind. Let me hit the rewind button. Before we do any of this, please, if you're new around here, please consider staying true around here by subscribing to this channel. Click the thumbs up on this video. I really would appreciate it. We do college football content here all the time, and we have a heck of a good time doing it. Auburn was 6-7 in 2023. Had some close losses, right, to Georgia and Alabama, two teams that competed in the SEC championship game. And then, kind of out of nowhere, they had a really bad loss at home in the next to last game of the regular season against New Mexico State. Now, New Mexico State was a decent team as far as for in their conference, and in the group of five last year, they kind of came out of nowhere, but still not good for Auburn to be losing to them at home by any margin, whether it be 10 or whether it be 40. That's just not a good loss. And then you went to the Music City Bowl with that 6-6 record, and you just didn't show up against a mediocre Maryland team, lost 31-13, got blown out of that stadium in Nashville, which, I mean, largely was almost a de facto home game for you. Auburn is only 5 hours or so away from Nashville, so, not a real successful first year there for Hugh Freeze, but there were things to build on, and we know he's going to recruit some dudes, and we know that he's going to bring in some good high school talent. Right now, they're sitting with the overall number 7 class. Over on 24/7 Sports, they've brought in 2 5-star players and 5 4-star players. Right now, they're ranked number 39 in the transfer portal. They've picked up some guys there, but nobody of real note. I don't know that there's anyone there that's really going to help the cause, but we shall see. Like I said, breakout stars emerge, and you have no idea that they're coming. Quarterback Peyton Thorne, who was a transfer in from Michigan State last year, went 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, about 129 passer rating, which isn't great. Threw for just less than 200 yards. Jarquez Hunter rushed for over 900 yards, so that's a positive there. Not a lot of headliners at wide receiver. I think your top receiver, 394 yards. You actually had 3 receivers in the 300 and something yard range there, and a couple more in the 200 and something yard range. So you kind of spread the ball out a little bit. You didn't have one real dominant player, but your passing game was not real good. You see the backup quarterback, Robbie Ashford, who was the starting quarterback the year before, transfer out to South Carolina, and he'll be missed. His ability on the ground to score, especially he was a good red zone player for you. Guys scored 5 touchdowns last year on kind of some limited touches. So this is kind of a team that's looking to turn a corner this year. And Auburn, to me, for all of my fandom, especially since South Carolina joined the SEC, before that I never really paid attention to Auburn or the SEC in general, to be quite honest with you. Growing up as a young Gamecock fan, we were an independent until 1992. We joined the SEC. But Auburn, it seems like, has they've had a lot of good years, but they've also went through this period probably the past 15 years or so where they seem to be a very bipolar team. In that, I mean, if you think they're going to have a hell of a year, they have a hell of a stinker. And then if you think they're probably rebuilding, they're not going to have a very good year, and they do great. So are we going to see something like that this year, or are we going to see some growth and stability there under Hugh Freeze? We'll see. But looking at this schedule this year, is it tough? Is it manageable? Let's look at it and see. On August 31st, you open at home against Alabama A&M. It's an FCS team. Auburn should win that game easily. On the 7th, you take on ACC opponent Cal. Yeah. You actually played Cal last year when no one had any idea they were going to join the ACC. And you went on the road and beat them in Berkeley 14-10. It's not a real good team. I think that Auburn should probably win that game, I would think. The next week, you're at home against New Mexico. This is not the New Mexico State that beat you last year. This is New Mexico, the Lobos. And there's a difference. New Mexico State has been pretty good. New Mexico has not. So that should be a win for Auburn. And then on the 21st, you're at home to take on Arkansas and Sam Pittman, who's desperately trying to save his job there. We'll see how that plays out. I'm looking at this thing right now. I mean, this could be a 4-0 start for Auburn. That's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. 3-1 at worst, and I would say that would entail getting upset at home by Arkansas. And dang it, I said this wasn't going to be a preview video, and it's really not. I'm just kind of looking at how some scenarios could play out. On the 28th, you are on the road at Oklahoma. New SEC conference member. Everyone's going to play either Texas or Oklahoma this year, one of the two. Very tough place to play at. Going to be a very hostile crowd for you to play in front of, and it offers quite the contrast to the 4 home games in a row that you open up with. You only played 2 times in history. That's kind of surprising the jackpot. And they were both in bowl games. Oklahoma won both of them, the most recent being the 2017 Sugar Bowl. The next week, you are on the road at Georgia, a team that owns a 7-game winning streak against you. And what is it they call it? The South's oldest rivalry or something like that. That'll be tough. Then you have an off week. I think you would rather have had the off week the 5th and then had to play at Georgia the 12th. But it is what it is with the schedule. And then on the 19th, it doesn't get any easier. After that off week, you're on the road at Mizzou, a team that was really, really impressive last year, had their best season in a long, long time. You're actually 3-0 against Missouri in SEC play, because they've been in the league since 2012. You only played them 3 times. Everybody this year, these schedules are upside down, and we're going to be playing a lot of teams that we don't have a whole lot of experience with. That's going to be tough. The next week, the 26th, another road game. So this is 4 in a row road games for Auburn after 4 in a row home games. You're on the road at Kentucky. Kentucky, you are 18-1 against Kentucky since 1967. That'll be a tough game, though, in Kroger Field. 18-1, though. Wow. On the 2nd, then you're back home, taking on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, you've since 1978, you're 15-2 against Vanderbilt. No surprise there. What I did see that was weird, and I like to look at these series records, since to me in the SEC, both these teams have been in the SEC. They're charter members. From 1956 to 1977, Auburn and Vanderbilt played 0 times. That's just really strange to Carolina Jackpot. You'd be in the conference together for that long and not play each other. But you've dominated them. One would think Auburn will probably win that game. You beat them at Vanderbilt last year. Then on the 16th, you're at home against UL Monroe, another group of 5 team that's not real good. You should win that game. Auburn leads that series 11-0. You've had a couple of games there that were close, but ULM just wasn't able to get you. And on the 23rd, a big game at home against A&M. This will probably go, a long way towards determining whether, what your record is at this point in the season. I would think Auburn, I would think you'd have a decent record by this point. Whether you're going to go to a pretty decent bowl or, if you end up in one of those mid-tier bowl games again. Of course, A&M with the new head coach there and Mike Elko, totally new philosophy, I would think would be improved. They have a ton of talent. It just hasn't been utilized really good the past few years. You're 6-6 against them since they joined the SEC back in 2012. And before that, you only met 2 times, with A&M with A&M winning both games. So that's weird to me too that you guys only played twice before 2012. And then of course on the 30th, you're on the road at Alabama in the Iron Bowl game, and the big storyline there, I guess, would be for the first time since 2006, missing on the sidelines for Nick Saban. Will be Nick Saban in the Iron Bowl matchup against Alabama. Of course, Hugh Freeze lost his first matchup against Alabama in the Iron Bowl type setting last year, and Brian Harsin, of course, lost both those games. So he had a close one against Alabama too. So we'll see if he can start riding the ship there. Of course, former coach Gus Malzahn actually had some decent success against Alabama, even though those teams were not as good as the Alabama team. So drop me a line down in the description, or not the description, the comment box below. Let me know what you think Auburn's record will be in 2024 and how they will fare against the schedule. It's kind of weird. It's like you get your road games kind of all there in one swash, I guess. I really don't like the off week where it's at. You'd like to see that after Georgia, like I said. But, other than that, this schedule is not brutal, especially with Alabama probably going to drop off a little bit with the new coach, Kalen DeBoer. They've lost some players. Probably not going to be as good as they have been, and the non-con schedule is very, very manageable. So let me know what you think about Auburn in 2024. I will see you guys later on. Appreciate it. Peace, and I'm out of here.